Hey, what's going on, everyone? Daniel Newsom, Success Inventor. Remember to like and subscribe. I got an interesting topic for you guys today. I'm going to talk about the success mindset a little bit and then tell people how to live longer. You know, if I could tell you how to live longer and be more successful, would you do it? We'll see. So recently I've been looking into some David Sinclair stuff. If you're unfamiliar with David Sinclair, he's a Harvard professor. He's been working on trying to create the Fountain of Youth for over 25, 30 years. And he's been working on some techniques in his labs that are actually have proven research behind them, and people are living longer based on David Sinclair's advice and what's going on. In this video, I'm not going to go into all of the scientific, I'm going to say vernacular. I'm going to keep it general because some of the words I can't pronounce, and I'm going to have a link below to this video to actually check out the video that I watched on David Sinclair stuff, and I recommend you checking it out. And the big thing I want to stress is people think of holistic medicine, and 5 years ago this was really theoretical, or all time in history up to 5 years ago this was all theoretical, which means unproven, just based on hypotheses. But now it's coming to a point where David Sinclair's data and research is actually proven. So if you think about holistic medicine, and the way that I view holistic medicine is that the mind is telling the body what to do. And there's ways that you can kind of do that. And David stresses that too. By being in the right environments, you can actually live longer. So let me dig a little deeper into that. A good example is I check out a lot of centenarians. These are the people that live over 100 years or longer. And they do a lot of kind of reviews and bios of these people to figure out, why are these people living longer than other people? And one person that I kind of listened to was this fisherman. He was out of Japan, and he was 100 years old. And they said, well, what's your secret? How do you live longer? And he said, well, my secret is I still have to go fish every day. I have to go out there and get the fish and provide for my family. And if I don't, they could die. So his mindset every day was, man, I got to go out there and succeed, because if I don't succeed, my family could have like real negative impact. So his life, even though he was 100 years old, it still had a purpose to it. You know, in America, we have a lot of people that retire, and a lot of people, they retire, and after 1 year they die or they get some kind of illness, and they're not keeping their mind active. They're not coming up with a solution on why they need to be alive. So it's like you're 65 or 66 and you're like, okay, I'm shutting it down. And then you just sit around the house and your mind kind of shuts off, and then the body, as a result, kind of shuts off as well. So it's like, how do you always keep your mind engaged? So what we're learning now is there's different enzymes in the body that respond to cellular environments when an organism is under threat. So something David talks about is running. You want to stay active. Back in the day, it was fight or flight, where there's a saber-toothed tiger that's going to catch you, and you got to stay active to keep up with your survival. And if you didn't have that threat of, hey, I got to be in shape, you could be the next one to go. And you still see this in the animal kingdom too, the gazelles versus the animals that are trying to get them. So it's something that we got to keep telling our bodies too. Like when you're in the gym or you're running, have that mindset of, why am I running? What am I doing here? I'm not a huge runner. I'm 220 pounds. So something I think about is I'm more of a lifter. In my situation, if you come to life and death, I'm probably going to have to be a fighter based off my body size. So when I'm in the gym, I'm thinking, man, I got to lift this weight, because I can't run for my survival, and I got to be stronger than this guy that's coming to try and get me. So I always tell people, like, I'm in the gym, I'm trying to prepare for the fight of my life. Are you ready for the fight of your life? Or whether it's martial arts or whatever, like, keep your mind ready, and always think, like, when you're walking through an alley or something, are you ready for that fight of your life? That's what I'm trying to tell my brain to keep it, to say, like, I'm in the gym, I'm lifting this weight. You never know when you're going to be needing to be a little bit stronger to get through that fight, something to think about. So just don't be comfortable with it. Just don't be comfortable and go through the motions, be like, okay, I did my 45 minutes workouts. Like, train like it's really life or death. Like, that's your mindset. Like, I really have to kill it today. Like, my survival depends on how well I do in the gym today. Every day, just keep thinking that. So it's a lot about adversity, right? Like your mind has to feel adversity like, a threat coming upon it. David also talks about fasting, creating that sense of your body like needing food, like you really have to produce and really go out and do something to get the food. So that's kind of cool. He does talk about it on the other side where he's tested this theory on lab rats, and the fasting does make the rats live longer, but they do have like more pissed off or agitated lives too. So it's kind of that fine balance where, okay, you don't want to be too crabby if you don't eat, but try and do a little bit of calorie restrictions from time to time, that there is some benefits from it. He also talks about cold exposures and some kind of cryotherapy shock too. And something we're doing now as humans is that we can really put on as much clothes that we need to in these cold situations, and we don't really have that adversity to weather. So I've done cryotherapy a couple times, and you feel really amazing when you're done with it. And there's actually new studies coming out saying what it does, and you're putting your body in the shock. Woo! And I don't think we really understand what we're doing to our body quite yet on that. But it is good putting your body in the shock to where your mind's like, okay, that was a crazy experience, and you're making your cells and different things do different things to actually kind of combat these environments that they could be exposed to in the future, and go, okay, that was crazy. How do I prepare myself to kind of go through that if it was to happen again? So David's got something called the metabolic winter hypothesis. So gets a little sciencey on there. Again, check out his video. I'm trying to explain it the best I can. And then he's talking a little bit about brown fat too, which is new research in the last 5 years, and that proteins tell the body to be healthy. So check that out too. We don't really understand brown fat, but if you've got some time, maybe Google that, try and research that. So my kind of theoretical idea or my hypothesis behind it is David talks a lot about aging, how this is for your aging, these principles. My hypothesis is actually that we can do the same thing with our success. And I think COVID-19 has kind of put a lot of people in unfortunate financial circumstances. And the way that I'm thinking about things now is, man, I've got to be successful and I've got to go kill it, because if I don't have that, $50,000 nest egg or something, and something was to happen to my job, man, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm going to be kicked out of my house, or something might be terrible that happens to me. So your mindset for me is like, you have to think like, if I'm not successful, if I don't kill it, if I don't go make it, that my life or what I've got going on is in jeopardy. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about success, and I'm kind of treating it as a hobby too, where I'm trying to do this for an hour or two every day. And some people go, well, my hobby's basketball, or mine's playing pool, or whatever. And I think, well, what's your prize for that? Like, if you're 30 years old just playing basketball with your friends, like, that's cool, you're staying fit and you're liking it. But I think it's cool, the prize for success is, man, if you really knock this out, you could, make some money, or you can live longer, or you're just kind of like enhancing your knowledge too, to kind of keep going. And then you could have maybe some sort of breakthrough to where you could write a book on some interesting principles. So that's sort of why I'm doing it. But yeah, again, my success mindset, the way that I think about my mindset is, I have to succeed. There's no other way for me to live my life. It's like an adversity factor, like something's chasing you, I'm here, I'm getting chased. And if I don't go way out here, and I stop, and something's going to catch up to me. So I have to have this huge lead, right? So it's like, here's your debt and your bills, and here's you, and you're constantly going. You're not creating a gap, and if something happens, you lose your job, boom, it's going to get you. So that's my saber-toothed cat that I'm trying to outrun, is debt and obligations. So if I can make more money and be more successful, I can have this huge lead. So if something was to stop, if I had to stop for whatever reason, boom, it wouldn't be able to catch me. I wouldn't get smashed right here because I'm way ahead of here and a lot of other people. So that's my mindset, is boom, there's got to be some adversity. There's got to be a what if. And you're seeing a lot of these millennials that aren't successful. They're living with their mommies and daddies at 35 years old, and it's like, man, they don't have that mindset of that adversity where, man, I better go kill it right now. But they have a safety net. Their mommy and daddy can help them out, and they're still living at home because they know, hey, if I mess up, I can still go back to my moms and dads, and I'm not going to be thrown out on the street. So think about that. Think about that mindset. Like, man, I got to kill it. I can be on the street. I can be a failure. Boom, this is going to be terrible for my life. And then that'll push you to a success mindset. So that's what I got for you guys today. Trying to give you some cutting edge content that you might not be able to see anywhere else. Again, like and subscribe. Daniel Newsom, Success and Vanity.